And now, Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blank. And Tyler, it's Father's Day as we record this. It is also a very important day on our calendar. Happy first day of monsoon season. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm feeling extra thankful on this episode. Brad, like you said, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
And to, well, by the time this drops, a belated Happy Father's Day to all the dads and father figures out there. Yeah, man, I'm doing well. Like you said, monsoon season. I didn't even realize that, but it just dawned on me that
Halfway through June. Yeah.
We're midway as we record through the month.
Yeah.
And that totally, the time works out in my mind. That's crazy, man. I'm thankful for you. Thankful to see you. What's going on?
Freya turns 8 in 5 days. 5 days from this recording. She will be an 8-year-old.
So many birthdays in June.
Yeah.
My timeline is just filled with all these amazing people I love.
A lot of people had time on their hands during fall break.
Yeah, exactly that.
Try not to
shout out Freya, by the way, as well.
Yes.
How does it feel that she's turning 8 for you?
It's really incredible, but it's surreal and upsetting. She got ready for today. I wish I had a picture. I don't know if Jess took a picture, but her hair is really nice and she's got lipstick on and she's wearing this dress similar to the picture I sent you from dance and that I put out on socials of her wearing her costume for the dance show. Really, really, really incredible. But she just looks like she went from little kid to little person really quickly. And it kind of freaked me out. I'm not going to lie. It's looking at her being sort of this diet grown up is so surreal to me because I see more and more of Jess in her every single day. She acts more and more like me, which is a problem for another time. But she looks a lot more like Jess every day. She's just she's smart. She's super creative. She got Jess picked her up. She just got back from her trip, and she got some scented pens for Freya. Not scented markers, scented pens. And while we were in the car on the way back from breakfast this morning, she had her pad of paper and she's like, "Mom, what scent do you want?" Okay, well, let's do blue and orange. Okay, mint citrus. That's what it is. Mint citrus. Mint and citrus. Making you a car air freshener. So she scribbled out a piece of paper and she's like, "Here, take this as a car air freshener." I stuck it in the vent and it actually kind of worked.
Okay, Freya.
Real. But she's just like, it's that kind of stuff that's really cool, but I don't want to spoil things here, but I'll be addressing this during the someday portion of our show. We have a lot to get into today, but it's mind boggling how fast time has gone with her, especially because just thinking about her being in third grade and it's wild, man. It's wild. I feel like I just dropped her off at daycare. It's so weird.
And it's such a privilege to have known you and have seen that era of your fatherhood, and for her to be blossoming, like you said, into the amazing person that she is. It's just
it's wild.
What a joy.
Yeah, it's so much fun, but it's great. We have so much to get into today. We're going to talk WWE, AEW, of course. We are going to be, I can't wait. I already mentioned someday when we have kids, but you brought something up to my attention. Well, actually I saw it in our production meeting on the dock today. We get an update. We get a rose from Tyler. I'm so stoked for this. Kind of a wilted rose, but we're definitely getting a rose update. No spoilers here, but people that have been listening to the show or watching the show for a long time, our show specifically, will understand why this is a big deal and a big update. So I'm really looking forward to this. But let's get into it. And before we do, we gotta honor our sponsor here. The basketball playoffs are here and the action is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Cash in on the basketball playoffs with Prize Picks. Don't miss your last chance to add your favorite players from the court to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's points, rebounds, assists, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. Turn your playoff hot takes into tickets to basketball's championship series. Starting with the play-in round, every lineup you make on Prize Picks will enter you into the Takes Two ticket sweepstakes, which could get you in a +1 VIP trip to the ship. Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the ice in your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's goals, points, or hits, take your pick of more or less. Your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. the basketball and hockey playoffs are really this back and forth engagement right now, Tyler. It just seems like they're both one team wins next. We're just going to swap back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah,
both
for
of these
real.
series are crazy.
Fantastic action. Absolutely.
Yeah, unbelievable. On Tuesday, every Tuesdays, Prize Picks will discount several projections on the board, usually by 15% to 25%. And Flex Friday, make sure you opt in and tap the checkbox in your lineup builder to be eligible for the protected play. Choose squares from any game on the board. If your lineup does not win, you get your net losses back in promo funds up to your promo limit as soon as the lineup settles. Gimmick Infringement is rocking with Prize Picks, and you should too. Prize Picks, run your game. Yeah, it's absolutely wild. There's overtime finishes in hockey left and right. It just seems like every other night it's just, okay, I'll check my updates, like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to watch the game. And then it's Draisaitl wins one in overtime, or Panthers win 6-1, or it's OKC evens it out, or like, it's just nuts. Like everything is crazy. And then I'll just see stuff about the WNBA and it's less than positive. They'll talk specifically about Angel Reese. And I don't like that they're talking about Angel Reese this way. It's making me very upset. I feel a way about it because all the news is either she's not living up to expectations, or check out what she's wearing. And I just feel gross about either of those things. Mm-hmm. Although granted, she looked incredible, but I just like, what are we doing? We're not doing that we're not like, what's Halliburton wearing tonight? Like, let's zoom in. We're not really.
It's so true. Yeah. Well said.
But shout out to Dallas. Good Lord. So Tyler, let's talk WWE. We had a couple of big events. We have big events coming up. Big events I know you have thoughts about. I don't know if we'll get into that or not, but I did leave it kind of an open door if you want to share your thoughts about it. But before we do that, and before you ask your question, you have a new piece up on the website.
I do. This is true. Thank you for that shout. Yeah, if you visit gimmickinfringementpod.com and click on the writing section, there's a new piece from me on there entitled How Wrestling Saved My Dad and Me. It's just a reflection this Father's Day on not only my affinity for the gentleman that gets to call my dad, shout out to Pops, but also how wrestling through the years, and especially this year, continues to connect us and just be such a pivotal part of our relationship. And in that article, I also share, as you pointed out, Brad, some of my thoughts on the upcoming WWE Night of Champions event, and particularly one CM Punk, who is a wrestler that both my dad and I have a lot of love for. The announcement that he'll be facing John Cena at that show. And of course, the reason I'm bringing this up is CM Punk being a longtime critic of WWE's partnership with Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I fast forward
quote.
Right. Fast forward.
Blood money covered something being sucked.
Right.
Yes.
I've heard that quote as well, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward all these years later, and here we are now. And just overall, Brad, I continue to share this with you on air and off air. I just continue to think about who are the role models in my life and who are the role models for the next generation, particularly what does it mean to be a man? And as I get older, I see some of these folks, some of these celebrities who I idolized for a long time, who I've never met. I'm just at this different place in my life now where I'm realizing, I can enjoy them for their art and what they do, but this fascination that I think a lot of us have had with celebrity, I'm starting to shed that. And I'm starting to think about, wait, my role models, the people I look up to are, my co-host on this podcast, my dad, name the person that I know in real life. And those are the people that, I mean, I don't know if I can get a Brad Winchester shirt. Like I have a CM Punk shirt. I don't know.
You probably can. He played professional hockey for years. Yeah. So I'm guessing
I have shirts of all the. I mean, look, even on this episode, I'm wearing my Mercedes, and I don't know if I told you I got the Jamie and Mercedes.
No, that's amazing.
From Double or Nothing. Thank you.
No, that's amazing.
So just sort of reckoning with how much I invest in these people I'll never meet, and then when they disappoint me, none of us are flawless, myself included. Never meet your hero. Shout out Jabari Davis. When these moments happen, like CM Punk kind of backtracking and now going to Saudi Arabia, how do I feel about that? Am I just done with him? T-shirt off to Goodwill, or do I remember people are complex and money?
It's funny you said that.
money changes, perhaps changes and sways some perspective. So gimmick infringement pod.com. Once again, that is where you can find both Brad and I's original articles. And just wanted to put a plug out for that. Brad, thank you so much for reminding me and for all that you do to make sure all our visuals are looking great on the page. But just continuing to think about not only how much I love my dad and how blessed I am that he's in my life, but also that central role that wrestling continues to play all these years later. I'm telling you, Brad, I think both my dad and I are more invested in wrestling now in 2025 than we were when he was reading me bedtime stories and when he introduced me to this beautiful, complex industry.
It's a lot, man. But people are people and people are complex, and
that they are. All of us are.
We shared. I thought about where do we fit in some Triple H RFK talk today, but
oh my gosh.
Anyway, Tyler, I'm ready for your WWE question.
Yeah. Maybe this is all just a simulation. I don't know. But I do have a question for you. Okay. John Cena is a wanted man. That's probably gimmick infringement on Nick Nemeth on my part, but we'll move forward. It was made official last week. Cena will defend his WWE Undisputed Championship against CM Punk, the aforementioned CM Punk, at Night of Champions on the 28th of this month. Other possible contenders, including Cody Rhodes and Ron the Truth Killings, made their title aspirations known within the last 7 days. Seth Rollins is also Mr. Money in the Bank, let's not forget. Brad, who is best positioned to dethrone Cena, and is that the right move?
I don't think any of them are. Out of the list, like Ron Killings is the hottest one right now, right? Like that would be the no-brainer. And what a cool way to cap off his legacy, because we know he's probably here for a good time, not a long time, in the new deal. Let him establish his name as Ron the Truth Killings so we can go do indies and signings and stuff like that. If he decides to keep wrestling after this, I don't know. He's in his 50s, so I have no idea what his long-term goals are in terms of in-ring stuff, but I know he's probably ready to go make money elsewhere if he's established and then can go. Anyway, that would be really cool, but it would be, maybe Ron goes in there and maybe he wins. Maybe they turn it into a triple threat and throw Ron Killings in with CM Punk in Saudi, and Ron Killings wins. And then Seth Rollins cashes in. So like that would make Ron Killings gets to be champion. He can say, I'm a former WWE champion, not just the winningest champion of all time, with the 24/7, 48/7, 7-Eleven.
We remember.
Yeah. I think all of that stuff. I think he just retains. Like, I can't see. Do you think that they would have a title change like that with John Cena in Saudi Arabia?
No, I don't. And in my mind, I envision the CM Punk. I'm pretty sure I've said it on the show multiple times. I envisioned Punk versus Cena to be at SummerSlam. Yes. So I'm actually very surprised that we're getting it this soon. And for that reason, no, I don't think John Cena loses.
Well, maybe
Night of Champions whatsoever. But that's
maybe that's a Ron Killings thing. Maybe that's a sub in, so Punk doesn't have to go to Saudi.
And I'm dubious on if they'll actually give Killings a championship win over Cena.
Right.
But in your scenario, if they do, that would definitely be the perfect time for Seth Rollins to cash in.
You get the moment, but then you get it ripped away.
Yes.
And talk about heat on Seth Rollins.
Exactly. I mean, we're all still singing Seth's song. For some reason, he still has that entrance theme. But in terms of getting heat on him, right now, there's no better move to position him to be that ultra heel than to cash in. Yeah, because if he cashes in on Cena, that's effectively
heel on heel. Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's a face turn for him.
That is a face turn. And clearly that's not what they're doing with Rollins, Heyman, Breaker, and Bronson Reed. Okay, so we've mentioned two of these guys, but we also have Cody, who's back and who's lurking. Maybe the move is Cody versus Cena rematch. Maybe that is the SummerSlam night 1 or night 2 main event, running it back for Mania. We know historically WWE's like to do that where they'll run the WrestleMania main event rematch back later that year or the following year. Maybe the move is, Cody's coming for revenge. He's the one that's going to take that title off Cena. It's interesting, man. You could make a case, as you are, for all three of these guys. Something tells me it's going to be Cody who's going to get that title back. But ultimately, I think the championship lands in Seth Rollins' hands for sure. There's no way Seth Rollins won Money in the Bank for a second time only to have a failed cash in. I don't see any way that happens.
Yeah, I have a bunch of thoughts because Gunther's got the title.
We need to talk about that. I assumed
that.
Rollins, talk about assumptions. I assume Rollins is going to cash in on Jey Uso, but with the finish of Raw and Phoenix, that turns my prediction totally in a different direction.
I mean, it was a cool swerve, but I don't know. They better book him better than they did the last time. Instead of having Gunther, instead of having Gunther like feud with Jey Uso, 800 matches in a row, spread out over the 6-month period with giant gaps in between, was just egregious and criminal. Like, I can't think of a more boring build from the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania than what those two had, where it was just that the whole time. Oh my goodness. So maybe there's something there, but I need him to be doing something meaningful, and not to say that Jay's not doing something meaningful, but I just I hated how that was booked. Maybe there's some way you get all of them. I don't know how you get them involved. I don't know if that means there's a bloodline thing, and we're missing a key ingredient here right now, right? Like one that is the obvious person. Yeah, I don't have to say it. Yeah, Roman Reigns.
Yeah. The OTC.
Yeah, because I was thinking okay, that happened. Gunther's now there. Maybe Roman comes back and takes that. Maybe he comes back for that championship because he's never won it. Not really. He had it when it got split, but it wasn't really split. He unified the other ones, and then they made a new one. So
yeah, what a time
I don't know.
That was.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The Skittles belt.
Yep. Yes.
I think I have that action figure as well.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess I'll move on. My question, Tyler, is really, really easy. It was Ron Killings attack Cena. Cena versus Punk is a lot of fun on the mic. What are your thoughts about everything happening here? So I'll give you a lane. Like, just generally, what are your thoughts about what's happening with Ron Killings, CM Punk's John Cena? Or tell me about Gunther winning the title and your thoughts about that. Either one.
Yeah. Well, the latter is great. You and I have spoken of our admiration for Gunther as a performer, and his character has been, in my opinion, in a bit of a stalemate for quite a while. Like you said, even when we were building toward that Jey Uso match at WrestleMania, it just felt like, man, this is giving shades of when we first saw Gunther pop up on the main roster for the first time in that Survivor Series match.
Yeah.
That 5-on-5 when he lost, he took the pin within 5 minutes. It's like, I don't think you book that guy like that. There's got to be a better way to do this. I'm really happy that he has the title now. I hear the argument that Jey Uso should have had the belt for longer. I do. And I'm really, really invested in what is next for him, because I worry that this could be a Kofi Kingston-esque situation for him, where he has the big title for a minute and then he drops back down a notch or two on the card. So something to keep an eye on. But focusing on the world title picture, I'm so happy for Ron Killings. That's great. That huge buzz. He's not just re-signed. You cannot just buy his merch buy his t-shirt for $45 online, but it seems like they're actually investing in him, right? He's actually going to be doing something on the show. And I'm really intrigued because I don't know what in the world he's going to be doing the rest of this year.
Yeah.
But clearly it's going to be something noteworthy. And I hope the momentum that the fans created for him doesn't lose its steam in a few months, right? If we look at the Wyatt Six, Brad, when they first debuted and murdered Chad Gable and the subsequent weeks after, I was like, oh my gosh, this may be the hottest thing in wrestling. And then it seems like it's just been in the freezer. I know there's been injuries and other unfortunate situations, but now I know they had that tag match on SmackDown. I have very little interest in them now. So I just hope all parties stay healthy, and particularly for killings, that he'll still be, prioritized on a very deep, talented roster. In terms of the world title picture, though, I'm very intrigued to see who is going to stand out and beat John Cena. It's no secret that I've not been the biggest fan of the Cena title run, but I always enjoy wrestling when you have a champion and you have multiple people coming for them. Because ultimately, isn't that the point of all this? Is that we're fighting for a title. We want the notoriety. We want the pay that comes with that. So I do enjoy the fact that people are claiming, yo, John Cena, we want that shot at you. I'm going to be that person to come for you. So I think that is very promising. And even though we only have 6 more months of the last real champion, I don't know when he's going to lose this thing. It could be till December. It could be at SummerSlam. Who knows?
Well, right.
I do think it's a very smart of WWE this past week in particular to give us multiple people, multiple wrestlers who could be the one to take John Cena out, because that gets me wanting to tune in every week.
I have almost nothing to add to that. Like that's kind of what I was worried about with Gunther winning. Who is the most viable challenger for him on Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, shoot, that's a fantastic question. I don't think he's losing that title till
exactly
maybe 2026.
There's nobody.
I think he's going to go on a tear. Yeah,
because
you're right.
There's everybody else that I would have thought is currently in Seth Rollins' faction as his henchman. So
Braun Breaker,
right. So you have Jacob Fatu maybe going.
Oh, that's
the only one that I can think of
for sure.
So Solo Sikoa is going to screw all that up. So that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Solo and Jacob Fatu is the match.
Yeah, Jacob's probably busy till the winter,
right?
At least,
right. So it's like, well, okay, who do you have after that? Braun Breaker. With Seth there, I don't think so. Seth's going to want to take it. So does Seth create a belt collecting faction? Braun wins one ship, Seth goes after the other one. Then you get Big Bad Bronson Reed taking the IC title or something.
Sure. Do you see any possibility of Gunther turning into a face? Someone we root for? We've not ever seen that.
Not on the main roster, right?
Yeah, no,
not in NXT either, right?
No, we just cheer for him because he's fantastic.
Awesome.
But as a character, he's always been not even shades of gray. I think he's just straight up always been a bad guy.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe that's the move? Is somehow the ring general gets some crowd support?
I think so. I think that's, I don't even know if you could say that he's really a bad guy, because he's never really cheated to win. He just says awful things to people and then follows through with them.
Damian Priest, you're street trash.
Yeah. Ouch. It's pretty bad. Yeah. That's not, but then he just goes and power bombs people through the floor and chops them into oblivion.
Yeah.
I think CM Punk taking a Gunther chop. Did you see that video this week?
No, I didn't.
It's hilarious.
That's a thing?
Yeah, it's a hilarious thing. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That sounds painful.
Yeah. Literally sounds painful. We heard it live in person. Ricochet still has a dent on his chest, I think.
Oh, man.
Absolutely crazy. So I don't know. I don't know where it goes from here.
It's a great point, though, about the division. There's with Jey Uso. I always wonder in these cases where, okay, the champion, Gunther loses to Jey Uso at Mania.
Yeah.
A few months later, Gunther comes back and beats Jey Uso. Is this going to be a trilogy? Is this a best of 5 situation, a la
it's going to be the best
Sasha Banks and Charlotte on Raw from a few years ago?
So many times, though.
Yeah.
Like, make it a thing or stop. Like, that's it. Because Gunther is like 5-1 this year against Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and he's 1-0 against Pat McAfee as well.
Yes, there is that. Yes. But his IC title run was it's maybe the greatest of all time.
It wasn't even legendary. It was the greatest. 100%.
Yeah.
We can say that.
Yeah, and it was just, and then kind of a turd for his main title run.
Yeah.
It didn't start out that way, but it just sort of like turned into Jey Uso purgatory for both of them. Jey became the rise. He's like the best-selling merch person. Viewership goes up when Jey Uso is on the screen. He's
printing money for WWE.
Yeah. So I don't think
Rhea even has her yeet hat. She doesn't even need to know anything about Jey Uso. Just
I don't.
The merch is popping. I don't think
that. I don't think that's gonna. I don't necessarily think that'll affect his booking because they'll want to keep that momentum going. As long as he's doing something meaningful. What do you do after that? Like, you already like lost, overcame it and won. Okay, now you lost again. Do you really want to go back, or do you want to just like go do something else? What is that something else? Because they're going to either have to put him in something meaningful right away, maybe going after John Cena, or they're going to have to put him in a meaningful story. And that story has to be reconciliation as a tag team with Jimmy, reorganizing the bloodline, maybe something with Solo where Solo's like, I need support, and comes crawling back. And I don't know where it goes, but they got to give us something meaningful out of this, or they're going to lose a whole bunch of easy storytelling momentum because of how over Jey Uso is. I just don't want him feuding with Gunther anymore. It's tired. It's really a stale feud. Because people will be like, oh, they wrestled a lot, so they have a legendary feud. And it's like, no, they just wrestled a lot. Like a lot. I don't need this to be KO and Sami Zayn over the generations.
Yeah, one doesn't dictate. Oh, they've wrestled a lot, so it's legendary. Well, was it good?
Was it
great?
It was the American Alpha versus, I can't remember who was it Street Profits? I think for like
they wrestled a lot of
7 weeks straight. Just
the Revival,
constantly.
Street Profits.
Yeah.
NXT. The NXT tag division was on fire then.
No, I'm talking WWE main roster.
Oh, WWE main roster.
Yeah, with Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Right. Or not American. Yeah. Was it American Alpha? I thought it was American Alpha.
I remember Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders.
Oh my gosh, it was the Viking Raiders.
You remember the dumpster?
Yes, of course I do.
That's
the Viking Profits when
the
they
Viking
fought ninjas.
And yeah, and they were bowling
and yeah, it was certainly something.
What an era we lived.
Yeah,
through.
And that was the confusing time for me as people are hitting click to get away from this conversation. That time was
someday when you have kids, it's coming up. We promise. This is just the build up to what you came here for.
But it was like during that time, it was Raw and SmackDown, but it was at the Performance Center, so I could never tell what day was NXT and what day was not. Mustafa Ali came back with the mask and revealed himself as the head of whatever that thing was called that began with an R. I can't remember. Retribution. Thank you. It was like Revival. Retribution. Yeah. Retribution.
There's
a chainsaw that
someone was asking me about that at TNA Against All Odds. One of those cool fans I was sitting with. He was like, "Oh yeah, wasn't I'm kind of a lapsed fan. Didn't Ali do something in WWE that was also a leader of a faction?" I was like, "Yeah, that's
we don't talk about
that's Retribution." Yeah,
that's why AEW gained popularity right there. I feel like that's the single greatest reason that AEW took off and gained so much momentum at that point. Even at Daly's Place, filmed weeks in advance. Even then,
facts
better than Retribution.
This is not going to be a total Retribution focused episode, but what's so frustrating is you had all the requisite pieces.
Yes,
you had Ali, you had Dijak, you had Mason, you had Michin. You had
T-Bar.
You had everything you need. You had Shane Hayes, but you just didn't do it.
Yim was in there too.
Yeah,
like there was a whole bunch of people.
For sure. Do you remember the reports that Mercedes Martinez was approached and she said
yes, and she's like,
nah.
yeah.
No thanks. I will stay at home and train and
eventually sign with AEW, have a pretty fun run, and then still be there but never seen. I wonder if she's coaching or what she's doing.
I would imagine so. I hope so at least.
Well, I was shocked to hear like that she was in her like mid to late 40s when she signed over there.
Yeah, she's a veteran.
Couldn't believe it. She could not believe how great she looked for being older than I am, and that doesn't make sense to me. That actually hurts my feelings. Tyler, it's Father's Day.
Yes, it's time.
And I do have a someday, so let's get into it. Let's play the music.
And now it's time for
Someday.
Someday when you have kids.
Someday I can have kids.
Okay, I shared this picture with you, Tyler. Freya made me a Father's Day card and had an envelope, and I wish I had it. I left it with her so I didn't accidentally spill anything at breakfast on it. And on the front it said Dad/Brad, excuse me. And she likes to do this. So she likes to put our full names on things, but it was just the sweetest thing. And someday when you have kids, you're going to find yourself inundated. I was trying to clean up yesterday, the day before. Basically, the entire time Jess was gone, I folded Jess's clothes. And then I did like 10 minutes of other things. It was mostly folding those clothes and putting them on hangers. Just hundreds and hundreds of clothing, pieces of clothing. Articles of clothing, I think is the right word. So in that time, Freya made a whole bunch of things. She just likes to make. And it becomes this struggle of, do I keep it? Do I get rid of it? I don't know what to do because everything is like sentimental value, right? So I'm always torn between this. This is really funny. This is really cute. The hell am I going to do with this thing? And am I going to remember what it even is by the time I look at it again in 5 years, unearth it from a box, pull out this thing that's got a picture of a heart and it just says poop. Like, I don't know what this is for.
Unearth the...
Oh, lots of
momentum.
The word poop. P, 75 O's and a P.
It's a funny word inherently.
So I was talking about the episode of South Park where they do the if there's a volcano and it erupts, you should duck and cover. And they did like the 1940s, 50s, 60s style nuclear fallout videos. I've definitely watched those in my school when I was growing up. And it was like, little Sally hears a noise. It's a volcano. But just remember, duck and cover. And it's like the 1940s, just duck and cover. And Freya thought it was hilarious, the newscaster voice. And
I was gonna say, I don't know why that voice popped me, but I'm with Freya. That's
the lava flow goes over the kids in the video, and they're like all safe. Okay. And then at the end of the video, it really happens, and they're like, "Oh, just duck and cover," and their skeletons float away in the lava flow. It's amazing. It's so funny. So she made a Superman thing because we'd watched the Superman teaser, and it's like, read this script, and it's like, oh, I should have grabbed it, but it's like, there's been a volcano, and it's erupted. Just remember, duck and cover. This will not kill you. That was her script. The end of it was like, it won't kill you, even though it's definitely going to kill you. And it's like one of those things, reading the script was funnier than what she wrote that she thought was funny. It was funny by accident because of how ridiculous it was, not funny because she thought it was funny. She nailed it though. It was awesome. I'm keeping that one forever. So someday when you have kids, you're going to get scripts, you're going to get pictures, you're going to get these little stories, these little created elements, and you're not going to know what to do because you're going to have a lot of them. And you'll have to decide whether or not to stealthily throw it away when she's not looking or he's not looking, depending, or keep it forever in some sort of capsule. I'm keeping some of them, but it's a tough decision. You'll find out someday when you have kids.
That's totally reasonable. We can't keep all of this, but you're being selective at what to maintain.
Like gifts from students, right? Like
that's exactly what I thought of.
Yep.
I have this 24 by 36 Harry Styles poster that was a gift from a kid. And I just think about what other people think when they see me carrying this thing. I'm actually probably going to get a frame for it, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
I need to cash in my Michael's rewards. But
yes.
Yeah, some of the things, it's like, okay, this is such a great memento. Reminds me of happy times. But okay, I have 3 options. I keep it. 4 options. Keep it, repurpose it, Goodwill it, or maybe recycle it.
I filled a box with t-shirts, dress shirts. I probably 25 t-shirts. Like that's probably a conservative number. And then a bunch of dress shirts. I'm like, I haven't worn this in, like, basically I went 2019, 20 gone out of here. Cause I'm like, if I haven't worn them since that 5 years, 6 years, it's time for them to go. So I got rid of a bunch of old shoes and a bunch of, to be clear, they're in great shape. It's a lot of the Chucks that I just don't wear. Some of them I wore once. And
I remember your Converse era.
Yeah. So all of them into the Converse era box and t-shirt stuff to the top. But when you said CM Punk, and then I don't know if I keep these tees or give them to Goodwill, I laughed because the CM Punk tee definitely went in there. So
the classic ringer.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Someone's gonna get a steal right there.
Yeah, they're just all faded, and it's like the pro wrestling tees just don't last. Even my Seth Rollins tee is like all faded out, the graphic on the front. So it's like, yeah, it's time to go. I'll let these go. They're not like destroyed by any stretch, but they were faded enough where I'm like, do I really want to hang on to this? I'm not Where do I wear these? We had this conversation last week.
We had this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know if I shared on air last week, Brad. I sent you a picture in real time, as a matter of fact, when I was at Goodwill, and I stumbled upon a New Day T-shirt in my size, and it was the Run DMC style font on the front, black tee, because most wrestling tees have to be black.
Yeah.
And which is upsetting. Like, can we just get a little bit more variety? But really cool black tee, New Day font, white and red, Run DMC style with the New Day logo on the back. And of course, I sent it to you. I was euphoric. I bought it. But then coming home, I was like, where am I going to wear this? Am I just going to be single forever? I don't want that. Like, I want something else. So anyway, it's a balance, though. I completely hear you. And I would imagine someone was probably in your same situation who donated the tee in the first place, and then it happened to be in my size. It was $7.99, and I could not say no. I am keeping that Harry Styles post.
I get it.
If the kid hears it, I will not. That was just an example.
No, I get it.
What am I doing with this? But that will forever stay with me. But there are other items, like you said, where it's okay. I need to think what's the best move for this thing, and maybe it's Goodwill.
I had a senior give me a bunch of stickers to put on the throne. I have a throne in my classroom, and
as you should,
of course. And it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, when I put them on here, so you remember me. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Go ahead, put them on the side. Like that Friday going into summer, I tore that crap off the throne, threw it in the garbage. But like I don't want this on here. What am I doing with this stuff? And people will be like, oh, you like posters? Here's a poster. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want this. Oh, you have some Funkos up on the top of your desk. Here's this Funko. Cool. I don't want this. Why would I want this?
So many Funkos, man. I think we've kept Funko in business.
I sold almost all of them. I kept the ones that have sentimental value.
Exactly.
The box that you gave me.
There you
go. And I got a Shawn Michaels. Yep. Exactly. So
donating that. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to. Those are staying, and there's a few other ones that are staying put, but they're like still out in the garage in a box because like, where do I put them?
Exactly. Space.
Yeah. So I sold a bunch of them, made some money last year. That was nice. And then, it's just stuff. It's just becoming stuff. And I am trying to get rid of as much stuff as I can. Tyler, speaking of stuff, a lot of stuff happened this week on one day in AEW. Another day, another 4-hour show with an absolutely incredible match on the card. I don't know if that's where the question is heading. I know mine is a little bit probably different than what you have. But we had a lot of stuff go down. We got to talk about it. AEW time. Hit me with the question.
Come to think of it, Gimmick Infringement wasn't the only entity that delivered a summer blockbuster last week. Yeah, AEW, 4-Hour Jones, once again. I do have a question for you. It is not related to the masterpiece that was Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay, but I'm glad you enjoyed that match as well. Unless you were referring to a different match, maybe.
Oh no,
Tekla versus Queen Aminata was fun. I noticed. Did you notice when Queen Aminata went out of the ring? I was like,
yes, something happened in there.
I think she may feel a way about whatever just went down.
Yeah,
she was in the spider clutch, tapped, and then I actually rewound it because I was like, oh, let me see what.
Yeah, it got spicy.
Did not seem happy. But anyway, this is a Queen Aminata Stan podcast.
Yes, it is.
As those who listen know. Okay, Brad, with that in mind, I do want to stay in the women's division. I need women's tag titles, and I need them now.
Yep.
Every week, including last week's AEW Summer Blockbuster Special, we saw and continue to see the foundational pieces of a women's tag division. Ty J, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, Julia Hart and Sky Blue, maybe, just maybe, the reformation of Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale. If given the creative pen, which team would you have become the inaugural champs and why?
Willow and Stat, because nobody's beating them. Although Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, pretty awesome. So if they're not going to have, I want gold around Penelope Ford's waist. I've wanted this for so long, man. You know how I feel about Penelope Ford, and how I've felt about her for a very long time. I just need them to have a meaningful program, and I need Penelope to have gold. And I think that would be a great one for me because I would love to see Megan Bayne have gold. I'd love to see Penelope Ford have gold, all of those things. And Willow and Stat, just they wouldn't lose. I can see you looking down, which means you probably can't see me, but you might be able to hear me. and the internet quality has greatly diminished over time. Can't hear a word you're saying. I don't know if you're muted or.
I'm
There you
unmuted. I'm unmuted. How about that?
Okay.
I didn't catch a word you said. I felt so good about my question.
Yeah.
And then instantly I was just about to text you.
You were going into pixelated hell before you asked your question. It was just Robo Tyler.
That's not a
8
good
pixels, and then
Yeah.
and then I started talking, and the look on your face was just
That's my turning my phone back on.
It was so good. It was so good, and I was like, my guess is
you
that he can either see me or see me can't hear me, or hear me can't see me. One of the two is happening right now.
Did you catch my question or no?
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I'll embrace the mess. I'm not editing this. Okay, so this is my short answer. I said
Yes.
Megan Bain, Penelope Ford, because Penelope Ford. I almost said Penelope Cruz. I might have said it already.
Oh,
Penelope Cruz, I'd be down.
Women's trios titles. Let's do it.
It's just Penelope Cruz in general.
Yeah.
Give her all the gold.
Yeah.
Penelope Ford. I've wanted more for Penelope Ford since the beginning. So
you have documented.
Yes, because she looks great. She's a great worker. When she gets a microphone, she's really good. And I think that if they gave her the chance to shine, she'd exceed everybody's expectations. That's my thought. So put her in a tag team program, have her hold gold. I think that would be a great move for both of them. Because I don't know that Willow or Stat need it as much as those two could benefit from having gold around their waist, but Willow and Stat aren't losing. So that's the one.
Yeah. Do you think Willow and Stat have each outgrown a potential tag run? Do you think they're more fitted to be single stars at this moment?
Yeah, but I mean, we also had Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page as tag team champions. So like,
that was fun.
Whatever, like it's fine.
Yeah.
We get tagged Swerve in Our Glory. Did either of them really?
That.
So
that's a shout.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different, and they didn't get along while they were a tag team before they didn't get along formally, and then nothing came of it. Still waiting on that feud, and I hope Keith Lee's doing okay. Yeah, man. I don't know. Probably, but they're not doing anything right now anyway. So, yeah. I mean, Willow's been feuding with Death Riders and with Mina
until the end of time, and we saw the tease backstage with Chris Statlander, her running into Wheeler Yuta, which was really interesting, and Wheeler Yuta trying to give her advice on, hey, move on from Willow Nightingale, stop thinking about her. You have to make decisions for yourself. And then Chris Statlander walks away, gets the face off with Marina Shafir, keeps walking. So they clearly have to be doing something with this.
Marina, not Mina.
And if we are, we love Mina. We love Mina as well. Vicious attack by Mercedes as well. I was like, oh man, then she just tossed Mina right out the ring. That was rough. I agree with you, by the way. For the reason you said, number one, this is great for Penelope Ford. The roster, much like WWE, is so deep, Brad, that sometimes all it takes is for a wrestler to get the right momentum or to find that right thing, for lack of a sophisticated word. I believe Penelope's found that with Megan Bain, and Megan Bain needs gold, Brad. If it's not going to be singles gold, if she's not going to dethrone Tony, which we already saw at Dynasty, and if she's not going to dethrone Mercedes for the TBS title, I believe Megan Bain is that special of a talent that you have to invest in her, and particularly her being this unstoppable force. You got to have a title on her. So I love that for Penelope. I love that for Megan Bain. And generally, I'm the type of wrestling fan that enjoys when you have kind of an unstoppable heel or heels, and then the money is always in the chase. To me, there's no better route than starting that tag team division with Megan Bain and Penelope Ford on top. I would love to hear the case for Sky Blue and Julia Hart. I definitely think they're future champs. I love what they got going, but I think the division could absolutely be centered around Bain and Ford, and then you have, name the series of challengers that could create some really fun programs. I need it, and I need it now.
Yeah,
All in Texas. Why can't we have this at All in Texas? To me, that's
it makes
why
sense.
not?
Who do you think they challenge?
One of the 18 matches on the card. Who do they? Yeah. What would that first feud be against?
Yeah. What would be the? Obviously, there'd have to be a tournament. They would just hand it to them.
See that? Yeah. That's a good point. Exactly. That's how this works.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're obviously villains. They're heels. I think the move would be Stat and Willow. But then to your point, who's realistically beating Stat and Willow ever?
I mean,
I
the
changed my
Megasis.
mind. I want Chris Statlander and Willow National champs. You convinced me.
That would give them
That would have
something
to be the
meaningful.
match,
Yeah,
would it not?
right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what happens after that. Who
Penelope's
dethrones those
definitely
two?
eating that pin, man. I'm sorry. That's definitely happening in that scenario.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because she always is.
Yeah, always.
I kind of feel like that would be a good way to build up Penelope though. Is Megan Bain going like you're always losing, you're always taking the pin, and then her just snapping on Megan Bain, having a Megan Bain match.
Wow.
They have a feud. Megan Bain obviously kills her, but she comes out of it looking super strong. And then
Sure.
I'd love that. I just love Penelope Ford. She has all the tools. So I don't just
And Ty Mello and Anna Jay, I should also put some respect on their names. They are totally viable champs as well. You have Harley Cameron. Well, I think Harley Cameron would possibly searching for a partner now. I guess she's no longer gonna have the services of Anna Jay, but there's a lot of potential teams you could convince me on. I just think if Stat and Willow are reuniting and are doing that with the long game being to form a tag team, that's just that's going to be a hard team to not strap up.
Yeah, I got nothing to add. I can't think of anybody else right now. There's a lot of people that are out. Obviously, Shida is working on visa stuff, and there's some other people. But man, Queen Aminata and maybe Queen Aminata and Mina Shirakawa form a team. Maybe give me
that, please.
Maybe we get Billy Starks out of ROH or Athena out of like. There's so many possibilities, man. That women's division there, if you count it as a whole company, which I have to, considering all the ROH crap that's on AEW TV all the time. Respectfully, I guess. I want better things. Okay, Tyler. So a lot happened during Summer Blockbuster. We had contract signing that went south really quickly and ended with classic Okada. Well, classic AEW Okada. I really like the hype video package for that match to go out there and then just ruin it with Don Callis.
So well done. The package,
incredible.
Not the contract signing.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of all of that. I didn't mind the beatdown and the way it ended with Okada as a wrinkle. Like, whatever, I'm leaving. I didn't mind that, but I was just like, it didn't. What does this add? All this does is make me think I can't trust this match because there's going to be a bunch of bullshit on the outside of the ring.
Right. I completely agree with you. I've seen enough of Kenny feuding with Don Callis, and I just don't think Okada needs. I mean, he's already affiliated with the Bucks. He doesn't need anyone's support to crack Kenny in the like. To your point, he's Okada. He's the Rainmaker. He doesn't need any support.
You're going to go
just be better than all your.
You're going to go and show the legendary matches they had, and then show that he needs help.
He needs help, and then he just cracked.
He beat Kenny Omega many times. Here's the build up. He needs help. What?
It was make
it make sense.
It was just so unnecessary.
Make it make sense. So the part I want to talk about though, Anthony Bowens, Kyle Fletcher, Tyler. The more we see of Anthony Bowens, the more I want to ask, what's his ceiling in AEW?
I did see that match with Kyle Fletcher. It was clear Anthony Bowens was losing, unfortunately.
Yes.
Although we do love Kyle Fletcher on this podcast too. What's his ceiling? The 5-tool player is such a fascinating gimmick to me because it just feels like a heel character, but it's being presented as a babyface. And maybe perhaps that's because, well, we love Anthony Bowens. He seems like genuinely an awesome human being. Pride of Pro Wrestling, so on and so forth. Totally here for it. I think his ceiling is TNT champ. Right now he's in that mix of, Adam Cole is the TNT title holder. Kyle Fletcher, probably going to be the person to dethrone him at some point. And Anthony Bowens is kind of in that field for me right now. Ceiling, I think it's the TNT title. I would love for him one day to be in that world title conversation.
Yeah.
But much like WWE, that world title picture is just loaded right now.
Yeah.
And I one day maybe, but I see him being a really great future TNT champion.
I agree
with the way he's being positioned currently.
Yeah, I totally agree. And
that's okay too. That's okay. Totally. He can be amazing.
He's got tree trunks.
Not everyone's going to be world champ. Yeah. He was already an Adonis, and then he's going to an NFL mini training camp. And
crazy.
Oh, he has even more muscles on top of muscles.
So
That's
so,
cool.
but he throws like thrust kicks and super kicks and stuff like that. His kicks. So his leg size and his kicks and the way he kind of moves around in the ring a lot faster and I think a little bit more athletic. It kind of reminds me of Miro. And he doesn't obviously have the same kind of build as Miro. He's at the same size, but he's a big dude. And it's exactly what I thought of was like Miro's TNT run was amazing, right? Like incredible. So I could totally see Bowens doing a run similar to that. Not that gimmick, but like he just sort of reminds me of Miro in a bunch of different ways. And I think that character wise, it makes sense for him to be that. I can see him being built and changed and tweaked a little bit into getting to that main title picture. But again, to your point, it's just full. And I don't know how long a lot of the top guys have left to be top guys. You know, Kenny Omega has been contemplating how many years he has left. He's pretty banged up from all the traffic over the years. Will Ospreay works a style that isn't exactly conducive to longevity. Swerve's been wrestling as long as Ospreay. I'm sure he's got both of them look like they're in great shape, and everybody I just mentioned seems like they could probably go for a lot longer if they want to. And we know that character is as important as anything. And then you have Hangman, who's younger than those guys, and
MJF, who is definitely going to be a multi-time champion.
MJF, 100%. There's a lot of people, and we're leaving out people that aren't like really around or there at all. Like we're losing pillars over at AEW, right? Jack Perry disappeared. Ricky Starks is now Ricky Saints in NXT. I really have no idea where Jack Perry, or for that matter, Luchasaurus, Kill Switch, whatever we're calling him. Where's that dude?
Did you hear Wardlow is doing
Wardlow was injured,
the reboot of American Gladiators?
Yes,
Darby
as
Allin
is Camille
coming back soon. I know they have a show in Washington.
Yeah, Camille's also doing American
Camille's
Gladiators.
doing that. Yep.
Yeah,
Rick Boogs is popping up in
Camille looks like American Gladiators.
She does.
She straight up looked like she was pulled out of the 90s. Like she definitely has dinner with Blaze and Laser. Like 100%. Such an old deep cut, but now that
the Miz is going to be, I believe, the main host of that show. Rick Boogs is going to. It's kind of it's interesting.
I love Rick
WWE, AEW.
That was a great gimmick. Rick Boogs was a fun gimmick, man. I don't know why they got rid of that guy. Like the guitar stuff was ridiculous, and all of it was pretty ridiculous. But that dude was he had muscles on his muscles. Just an enormous human being.
Yeah.
And it seemed like everybody really liked him. And he also looks like American Gladiator. Yeah.
It was unfortunate. Do you remember I think it was that WrestleMania match. It was Boogs and Nakamura as a tag team. I think they were in a tag title match against the Usos or someone. And didn't he have that spot where he tore his ACL?
Yes. Got released during the injury time, right?
Yeah. It was a string spot.
Yeah.
Total worst case scenario, injured. And then my recollection is we never saw him in the ring after. It's a tough.
He wore like the one piece, right?
Yeah. Just never.
It was the same thing as Riddick Moss was there at the same. Madcap Moss was released at the same time. Who is, and you can go back into the archives to see it, but he and Takeshita, I want to see them have in-ring rope races. But now I need it. At that time, that was pre-Braun Breaker.
That was pre-Braun Breaker. Yeah, Braun Breaker is inserting himself into that.
I need those three. I need those three to have a race. Like, I just need to know who can do 20. Who's the fastest 20 times? Just back and forth. Just go as fast as you can. Who's winning that race? I don't know who's winning that. I'm thinking between Madcap and Braun Breaker, but Takesha's got some wheels. So I don't know, man. The freakish athleticism of all of these human beings. I will be tuning into American Gladiator. They did have a reboot before, right? Wasn't it Hulk Hogan?
Oh, I don't know if I saw that.
I did not watch.
I remember watching the Netflix for reasons. I remember watching the Netflix documentary, but obviously that was kind of a retrospective on the original, the OG show. I'm not doubting you. That's definitely something that could have happened.
Yes, it did.
Watch it. It did.
Yes.
Was that on Spike TV?
I have no idea. It was 2008. God, I can't believe I remember that. So yeah, 2008. Where's the history?
That had to be on Spike. That had to be on Spike TV. Cross promotion with TNA Impact at the time.
Let's see.
Catch it right Sunday, after 1,000 Ways to Die.
This is okay. This is amazing. It doesn't say on here where it was. Macy's, MGM, NBC. So it was NBC. It was NBC. So
I don't remember.
it was American Gladiator, NBC. Hulk Hogan hosted 2008. It was a Sunday. Do you want to guess the date?
It was
the day that it aired. Do you want to take a guess?
I hope it wasn't January 6th.
It was January 6th, 2008.
Well, this podcast is over. It's been a great episode.
Well,
thank you all so much for tuning in.
Tyler, sorry to deliver the bad news, but I know you have some bad news to deliver too, and I haven't been able to play this music in a long time. And by I mean the production team, not me. I would never do that. But let's get into it. It's a rose from Tyler.
And now, for a rose from GI's most eligible bachelor.
Okay, so this is the classic case of, I was going to say this is a classic case of it was good until it wasn't, but this is just the classic case of The Bachelor. Brad, we're bringing back a rose for a special rose edition over the summer for some unfortunate reasons. Grant Ellis, the most recent lead on The Bachelor, and his bride, his fiance, Juliana, they called it quits, man. I don't know if you saw this news.
Mm-mm.
Actually, I know you did because you referenced it earlier. Take that back.
Well, there's that.
You can edit that out. There's a hyperlink. Yeah. Okay, so they called it quits, man. And news was delivered via Grant on his Instagram story. And apparently this is an amicable breakup. He mentions in part, Juliana and I have decided to end our relationship. We both gave this our best and poured a lot of love into each other. But after a lot of deep conversations, we've come to the understanding that we're simply not the right long-term fit. Brad, this is so predictable. If anything, not that we're celebrating their breakup, but if anything, you and I kind of called this when Grant chose Juliana over Latia. Obviously, a part of the fear with him potentially choosing Latia was that Latia was maybe too ready. You even said by this point, Grant probably would have kids. Latia and Grant he would be celebrating Father's Day at this point.
Yes,
Latia was so ready. She conveyed that to him, ready to start a family. Grant got cold feet. And he ended up choosing Juliana. And clearly that was going to be the more fun pick. There was less pressure on him, presumably, in a relationship with Juliana as opposed to the family-ready Latia. But this should not be surprising at all. They got to know each other, still want to be friends, apparently, but they have called it quits. Brad, to me, this is just another potential indictment on the franchise. It just seems like they're on a consistent roll of these couples not working out, whether it's Golden Batch, or at least the first season with Gary Turner, whether it's the traditional The Bachelor and Bachelorette franchises. Here we are once again. Some of us, watched week in and week out, every single minute, investing in this product, and then these couples, perhaps not unlike real life, these couples just call it quits and then okay, well, why did we just invest so much time in this? So to me, it's an indictment again of this franchise becoming a relic. The whole engagement tie-in is just not befitting of the era we live in anymore. And maybe it never was to begin with, but they called it quits. I want your thoughts. Should we have seen this coming the whole time?
Of course you should have. Like, I'm not going to discount here Guri and our second favorite, Teresa, with an H. Guri Turner, that guy. Listen, man, it's The Bachelor. You got married because of a television show. Of course it's going south. Like, of course it's going south.
End of commentary.
It's like, it's more predictable than like diarrhea from leftover gas station food. Like, what are we doing? Like, old gas station sushi is more reliable than a marriage that happens on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
It is not it's not as, I guess I'm not shocked that this took place, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
You shouldn't be. Yeah. And I wonder, as these breakups continue to roll out seemingly over Instagram season after season, I wonder if ratings will take a substantial hit, or, ABC puts, we can hope ABC puts together a nice video package. They get us excited about the new cast and the new lead. And then like a bunch of marks, calling out myself here. We just tune in Monday, 7:00, 2 hours. Okay, sign me up. I wonder long term if, all these other shows that are popping up, Love is Blind, so on and so forth,
Right.
if they're really going to continue to take a bite out of that market share that the Badge franchise has had for so long. I find from my polling, my informal polling of people I know, Brad, A, not surprising at all. And B, these other shows are gaining a lot more momentum because they just feel more fitting of the era we live in, not
Mm-hmm.
this engagement piece that you and I have talked about ad nauseum on air. But Grant and Juliana, it didn't work out 3 months later, or however long. Here we are. They called it quits. We shall see what's next for both.
Yeah, that's rough, man. I'm sorry for your loss, Tyler. Popped myself there. What did we miss?
Yeah, that was funny. Okay, so what did we miss? I just got one today. I'm going to be quick here. Big shout out to Emily Olero Jones of the Female Driven Podcast. In case you missed it, she joined us last week for the GI Summer Blockbuster preview. We previewed this summer's biggest films. We talked about action, we talked about blockbusters, comedy, drama, even threw in some horror as well. So of course, we'd love for you to check that out. We'd also love for you to support Emily. You can follow her show's Instagram at Female Driven Podcast. That's all I got, Brad. What did we miss?
I don't really have anything. Everything that I wanted to talk about, I talked about already. This week was a blur. I learned a lot about chainsaw mills this week. I learned a lot about different types of landscaping, but I didn't get to learn a lot about the actual real world. So I don't really have anything to add this week, but I did have a lot of fun.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Please let us know what you think about all of these stories across pro wrestling, pop culture, and more. We would love for you to leave us a comment here on YouTube. If you are listening to your audio platform of choice, you know how much we love those 5-star reviews. We thank you for tuning in. Follow us at GIPod19 for exclusive show updates and more. And we'll see you next week. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.